So it's a really wonderful, cold, frosty January morning this morning, and I've popped down to one of my favourite spots on the edge of the Chilterns. I'm here because I'd like to try. I've not actually photographed this location before, and I wanted to come down here and try some landscape photography. But in addition, for anyone who's followed or follows Julian Baird's channel, you'll know that a couple of weeks ago he did a review of a book by Ross Hoddinott and Baur that was 52 challenges for landscape photographers. And after that video, he actually challenged our friend Chris Sale to do a video where he tried one of those challenges. And the challenge which Chris was set was to try doing some intimate landscapes. And in turn, if you haven't seen Chris's video, Chris actually challenged me and a couple of other photographers to do some challenges too. And the challenge he set for me was to try and take photos either at ground level or above head height. Now I'm used to having my camera down quite low. I tend to do most of my photos actually probably about knee height, but I don't tend to go much lower than that, and I've certainly never taken photos above head height. So this is a really interesting challenge that Chris has set me. So what I've done this morning is I've come down here to this spot, and this is a location I know, but it's not a location that I've photographed much before, and it was one which I had in mind. I thought actually this is probably quite a good place to try taking photos from different angles. There's a few options for going above head height, and there's a few options for going down at ground level as well. So I'm looking forward to giving it a go. But actually in the meantime, I've just arrived and it's still just blue hour. The sun's not quite up yet, and as you can see there's this wonderful mist lying down in the vale ahead of me, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a gorgeous morning. Absolutely stunning, so I just couldn't resist just stopping and taking this first photo. This is just breathtakingly beautiful. The sun, as it's rising, is coming up behind those trees, so you've got the trees silhouetted, and at the same time, because of the mist, the sun rays are being broken up in the mist, and there's just these wonderful pastel colours of yellows and blues. It's absolutely beautiful. I've got quite I'm at f/16 just to try and, normally when I shoot into the sun, I tend to put the f-stop up a little bit, because if you can get sun stars, the best way to try and achieve a sun star is to try and push that f-stop up a little bit. So f/16, f/18, I might switch to f/18 actually. So if I can get it up a little bit. But yeah, ISO 100. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. It's just stunning. So now I've managed to get distracted away from Chris's brief that he set me for a few shots. I'd like to try and go and give his challenge a bit of a go. So one of the things I was thinking of for this location was, I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's lots of ant hills here. Lots of it. They create these big bumps in the meadows. And I thought maybe using those, especially on a frosty morning like this morning where they're covered in frost, I thought they'd make a really interesting kind of foreground down to get down really close to. So there's a little area I know up here which I think might be suitable for a shot like this. So for my first attempt at a ground level shot, what I've gone for is this shot actually shooting into the sun. The sun's actually just about getting a bit too high now, so I'm just having to be quite quick and get these shots before it becomes too bright. But I'm bracketing the shot, so I've got two stops either side, so for this kind of shot you really need to bracket it. But as you can see, the camera's down as low as it can go. This tripod which I'm using here is actually a new one for me. It's a Benro Mac 3 tripod, and one of the things I like about this tripod is it's got this the option to put in a very short central column. so you can lay the legs out completely flat. So that's how I've got it set up at the moment. So the camera's actually down as low as I can get it, down to the ground. But yeah, with the frost on these anthills and the sun catching that frost and just making it glisten, this is just such a beautiful scene. It's almost otherworldly. It's absolutely stunning. I'm so pleased I decided to do this challenge on this frosty morning because it's just perfect for it. So I have actually hit a little bit of a snag because I'm at the spot which I'd envisaged using for the high up above head height shot. And the shot I had in mind for here is because we've got these trees, I figured if I have the camera up high on the tripod I could shoot over the top of the trees to the view of the vale below. And I was hoping there'd be some nice mist lining that vale, like there was earlier on actually. But actually the mist has really thickened up, so now there's no view down there at all. So I'm going to have to take a little bit of a walk. There's some woods up here. I'll take a little bit of a walk into those woods and see if I can find an alternative shot to take. So I've actually decided to take another low down shot. This isn't quite within the brief in that it's just a little bit above ground level. But I just wanted to take a shot of this tree here on its own with the mist behind it and the frosty ground. It's a very simple shot. But yeah, the mist is just, I think it's just providing a little bit of atmosphere that makes this image work. Right, I keep getting distracted. I need to try and find a shot to take which is above head height, so I should probably get a move on. Okay, so after some running around trying to find a shot which will work with a high perspective, I think I found a shot here. We've got this one tree and then there's some trees behind which are sort of hiding in the mist as well. But I've also got the sun in shot too, and with the mist obscuring the sun I can actually get away with keeping that sun in shot. And by underexposing and bracketing the shot as well, I think what I'll be able to do is just keep that sort of sun almost looking like a moon in the corner of the shot, and it gives this image this sort of spooky, ethereal kind of feel. So I quite like this, and it's also a shot which I really think works better having the high perspective. So I think that this fulfills the brief for my second challenge, which was to have that camera up above head height. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. I think this is probably going to be my final shot of the day actually. It's probably time for me to get back, it's quite late. But yeah, hopefully these images will all come out okay. So what an enjoyable morning this has been. The conditions have been absolutely stunning, and although I didn't quite get the up-high shots which I'd sort of pre-visualised beforehand, I think I made up for it with some of the other shots. It's been so useful coming out and doing this exercise, and these kind of things are they're just really good learning experiences. It's very easy to sort of get stuck in a regular habit of doing the same sort of thing and taking the same sort of images sometimes. So sometimes it's nice just to get out of that comfort zone and try something a little bit different. And that's kind of the point of books like this. So if you're interested in a book, I'll pop a link even in the description below. It's by Ross Hoddinott and Mark Baur. who are actually both fantastic photographers as well. In fact, one of their tuition books actually got me into landscape photography in the first place. But if you're interested in the book, I'll pop a link in the description below so you can go through and buy it. But I'll also provide a link to Julian's review of the book as well, so do go and check out that video too. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Chris for giving me this challenge. I've really enjoyed it, and I definitely hope I can do more of these kind of things in the future as well. So until next time, please take care, and we'll see you soon. If you're interested in having a go at one of these challenges yourself, Chris and Julian are trying to encourage as many photographers as possible to get involved. Why not head over to Chris's website to find out how you can take part? I'll provide a link in the description below.